Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm filming a little grocery haul and my tips and tricks for doing affordable grocery shopping, like budget friendly grocery shopping, because that is something I get a lot of questions about on my Instagram. And now that I'm making a ebook, I've talked about how I'm going to do like a whole section on my meal prepping advice and like grocery and budgeting for grocery shops and that kind of thing. Andy and I personally spend like 100 to max 150 on groceries a week. So yeah, I thought I would show you what I picked up because a lot of people were responding to my Instagram saying how do you spend less than $100 and that kind of thing. So first of all, I'll show you everything I picked up for this week. We buy different things most weeks, but just thought I'd give you a gist of kind of what we pick up. And then I have my laptop beside me because I'm going to tell you guys like my little tips and tricks of how to like do it budget wise. But yeah. My cats are everywhere if you can see them. But yeah, without further ado, I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to show you guys what we picked up. Alright, so let's start with the fresh produce. Please also don't come for me for the fact that this is bagged and a few of the things are bagged. We don't really have many options in Australian supermarkets to do this ourselves, like to bag your own spinach and things. I guess if I went to like a fruit and veg shop, you probably would, but we just went to Woolies today and also Aldi. So yeah, I could only buy the bagged spinach. But the first thing we did pick up is spinach. Andy puts these in his sandwiches every day and I also put it in my smoothies every day. I then picked up some iceberg lettuce. I'm going to make chicken fajitas this week, so I needed these for my wraps. For vegetables, we usually buy frozen vegetables like carrots, beans, broccoli and that kind of thing because we just don't use the fresh vegetables in time. They always go bad. So we always buy frozen. It's also way cheaper that way. So we have all of that in our freezer at the moment, and I just thought I'd show you what other vegetables we picked up, even though we didn't pick up that many. But we got a couple of white potatoes for a night or two with dinner. And then we also picked up 2 sweet potatoes because these are our favourite. We always make sweet potato chips and they're so good. I then picked up 2 capsicums, so we have a red and a green for the fajitas. I love capsicum, and we also have red onion and brown onion in the fridge as well. I then picked up a lime. I don't know what category that goes into, but it was in the, fresh produce section, so I got that for the fajitas. As for fruit, I picked up 2 apples, and we also have a couple more in the fridge that'll last us all of next week. We have a ton of bananas. We live off these daily, but I just couldn't be bothered to like hold them all in the clip. But we pick up one for every day, so we picked up 14 bananas this week, which is a little bit crazy. And then I also got some fresh strawberries. Then let's move on to the protein / meat varieties. So Andy picked up hot salami for his sandwiches. I don't really eat salami unless it's like a pepperoni pizza, but that's what he likes to have on his sandwiches. We picked up some beef. We usually pick up beef and chicken every single week because there's just so many meals you can make with them. They're very versatile. Chicken we have all the time with like rice, sweet potato, white potato, and then the beef we'll make like spaghetti bolognese, meatballs, homemade beef burgers, like any of those type of things. So we always pick up both of them, pop them in the freezer and just take them out whenever we need to use them. And then for bread, we got some wholemeal bread, 2 loaves because we both use this, so we go through it pretty quickly. Then I also picked up some low carb wraps to go with my fajitas as well. Moving on to the dairy and the other protein sources, we have 2 different yogurts because I'm fussy with my yogurts. So I get the YoPro Greek yogurt. This one has no added sugar or anything. It's really healthy for you and nothing like nasty in it. Andy on the other hand just buys Yoplait random strawberry yogurt, so yeah, he's out the window so we could hear that. This one is a lot cheaper to buy, so if you are on a budget then sure, go for this option, but I just personally like to make sure I'm eating as clean, nutritious foods as possible, so I go for the cleaner option when it comes to yogurt. We also have 2 different milks because, again, cleaner option. So he gets the light milk that is heavy. I mean, it's only 3 kilos, but he gets a big enormous thing of light milk to go with like cereals and coffee, and I get 3 litres of almond milk. This brand was on sale this week at Woolies, so I just picked up this one. I am fussy with my almond milk, but I also want to get like the cheapest one, so that's the one I picked up this week. And now I'll just show you like a few other random things we picked up. So I picked up some no added salt black beans. I'm gonna make chocolate black bean brownies this week. I'm obsessed with them. It sounds disgusting and probably will turn you off, but if you smell them or taste them, you cannot taste it at all. Like, I've made them for people and they have no idea that there's beans in it. So I'm gonna make brownies this week, I think. And then I'm also gonna make some meatballs with that mince I just showed you. So I pick up the pulse pasta, which is made from peas, lentils, chickpeas, and borlotti beans, and also some tomato passata. Moving on to snacks, we have, there goes one of my cats. We have these cheese and crackers. Andy likes to pack these in his lunch. I also sometimes have these when I'm like between clients and stuff, but yeah, we got some cheese and crackers. And he also picked up these protein bars for his lunch as well. I don't really think that these are very proteiny. They don't really have that much protein in them and they're full of sugar, so I personally wouldn't eat them, but he doesn't really mind that much. And then for my little snack this week, I picked up these no sugar added chocolate digestive biscuits. I love to have one of these, or 2 of them, or 5 after dinner, because I just love like that little piece of chocolate, like a sweet tooth. So I usually have these after dinner just to like tie me over, or sometimes with my coffee in the afternoon. We also then picked up honey to go on toast. I don't know, Andy got this. I don't really know what he uses it for, but I'm assuming to go on toast. He also picked up some gum, and then I also picked up, I've said also way too many times. And then I also, so hard to
say and I.
And I. It's really hard not to say the word also. I picked up dark chocolate. My words. I then picked up some dark chocolate 85%. I use this like obviously just to snack on, but I also use it a lot in my baking because it's hard to find like high percentage baking dark chocolate, if that makes sense. So I use this a lot for my recipes. I'll probably use it for the brownies this week. But yeah, that is basically everything we picked up. It was a total of $120 or like $118 or something for the week. And we also did pick up kitty litter, so usually it would probably be just under $100 if we didn't have to pick that up. And now, even though my mouth is so dry from talking so much, I'm going to quickly go through my tips and tricks for shopping on a budget. So, you're like way better at explaining this than me. But looking at the price per gram or mil, Andy like taught me this recently, but it's so hard to explain. You could get like a jar of passata sauce. This is 700 grams and I think it's like $3. But you could have another brand that is selling it for $2.50, but you're only getting 400 grams, if that makes sense. So technically, even though this is 50 cents more, you're getting nearly double the amount of grams. So in the end, yay! So in the end, this works out to be better. I really don't know if that makes sense, but it's just something that Andy has drilled into my head. And now, like, it just makes total sense to me. Even these yogurts, a lot of the time I buy the little single serves, but they're usually $2.40 each for like 160 grams, whereas this is like $6 for 700 grams. So I'm sure if you did the maths, this would end up being the cheaper option, even though it's not like singled out, but you can just put it in a Tupperware and it's the same thing. So yeah, I really don't know if that made sense, but just make sure you're looking at the price per gram or price per mil, whatever it is that you're buying, because that's a good way to make sure you're getting like the best option for your money. So my next tip is when it comes to fresh produce, try to stay away from things that are already pre-cut and pre-packaged, even though I just showed you a few things. Like, for instance, this tiny little bag of lettuce cost me $2, but you can buy an entire iceberg lettuce for $2 on sale at the moment. So obviously if you bought the big lettuce, you would get a lot more out of it and it makes more sense, like if you have a family. But I'm the only one that eats this, so to me, I would rather just buy like the already pre-shredded lettuce, then I don't have to do it, and also I would waste more of the other lettuce anyway. So this is kind of just the option I go for a lot of the time, unless Andy's eating it as well. Anything that's already pre-packaged or pre-cut is going to be more expensive. So try and just spend those extra few minutes cutting your carrots and cutting your zucchini and your pumpkin and all that kind of stuff, because it works out to be a lot cheaper. My next tip is to buy in season or buy frozen. So I've mentioned this a few times in this video. Berries at the moment are in season in Australia, so they're pretty affordable if you do like fresh berries. But a lot of the time they can be like $6 or $7 a tiny punnet in Australia, which is crazy. So I often buy a lot of frozen berries because I use them for my smoothies anyway. So I kind of prefer frozen berries, but in the scheme of like money, it's a lot cheaper to buy them frozen. Same with frozen vegetables. Beans at the moment were like crazy expensive because they're in the off season. But if you buy a bag of frozen beans, it's like $1.50. So yeah. So my next tip is about things in cans. So this can of no added salt black beans cost me 80 cents, but there's another brand that Woolworths sells that's $1.30 for the exact same amount of grams and the exact same item, like no added salt black beans. They're literally the same thing, but the home brand is 80 cents and the other one is $1.30. And same with like diced tomatoes and things like that. The home brand version is always the cheaper option, and I really don't find there's much difference in like the branded versus the home branded. And even though you're only saving yourself like 50 or 60 cents, if you have to buy multiple cans of things for like a family or just to keep in your cupboard, then it works out to be a lot cheaper, like a couple of dollars every week. And yeah, that was just another tip I have if you're on a very tight budget. Another tip I have in Australia, I don't know if it's everywhere, but if you go to the bakery section and the meat section, later on in the afternoons and the evenings, they a lot of the time have like the special discounted sticker. So the bakery especially, because obviously bread isn't fresh the next day, they'll have a lot of bread, a lot of rolls and all that kind of stuff, like with the sales sticker, usually half price or even less than half price. And same with the meat. Obviously at some point meat goes bad, so it'll usually have a sales sticker like the day before it goes bad or a couple of days before it goes bad. And the good thing about both those items is even if the use by date is like the next date, if you chuck it in your freezer and just pull it out when you need to eat it, then you're all good to go. I really hope our neighbours can't hear me. Okay.
Nearly finished.
Nearly finished. I have a few more tips. This is the longest video of my life. So, the other one I have is to use any leftover fruit or vegetables and freeze them. So obviously if it gets to the end of the week and like you have zucchini going bad or you have strawberries going bad or whatever it may be, freeze them or cut them up and freeze them, and you can use them in smoothies. You can even use them in soups if it's like vegetables and stuff. I do that a lot if I have bananas that are going bad. I'll either use them to bake healthy treats or I'll freeze them and use them for smoothies. Zucchini is really good in smoothies because you cannot taste it at all. Cauliflower is really good in smoothies. Avocado. Like there's so many fruit and vegetables you can chop up, put them in Ziploc freezer bags and then just pull them out if you want to use them for like a soup or a smoothie. And then you don't have any wastage. So it doesn't technically save you money in like the shop, but it just saves you from like wasting food, I guess. Yeah. Alright, second last tip is to shop at your local farmer's market, your local fruit and veg market, or if you have an Aldi near you, Aldi is always cheaper than most like grocery stores like Woolworths and Coles. So try to shop at them whenever you can. So yeah, they're always a fair bit cheaper, and then you're actually supporting your local community, your local farmers and that kind of thing. And they, yeah, Alright, last one. My last tip is to meal prep. Meal prepping is my life. It's literally what I'm about to go do once I put all my groceries away. But it saves you so much money. People who work like Monday to Friday jobs and that kind of thing, like if they don't meal prep, they'll probably go out for lunch, get food out, go get their coffees out, go get snacks out, and you spend a lot of money doing that. Honestly, I work in hospitality when I'm not being a personal trainer, and people spend upwards of like $20, $30 just on their lunch, their coffees and their snacks for the day, which is crazy to me. Times that by 5 and you've spent like $150, Can I do maths? Yes, I can. You've spent $150 on takeout for the entire week, which is just crazy. And that's not even including like your breakfast or your dinners. So meal prepping is my best friend, personally. I usually make bulk meals that are around $10 to $15 and I get 4 or 5 meals out of them. Whereas if you were to go to McDonald's or KFC and get your lunch, you're paying around $10 to $15 just for one meal. So meal prepping is my favorite thing ever, but I'm rambling now, so I'm gonna finish this video. But if you guys did enjoy it, if you learned anything new, then please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know below if you have any other tips and tricks I haven't mentioned. I can put them in the ebook if you're interested. But yeah, I'm gonna go put these things away before they go bad, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Alright, I'm done. Ugh.